Once upon a time, in a far-off land of talking animals and magical creatures, there was a unicorn named Sparkles. Sparkles was not your average unicorn, as he loved to play pranks on his fellow unicorns and other creatures. One day, while playing hide-and-seek with his friends, he stumbled upon a mysterious cave that he had never seen before. Curiosity getting the better of him, Sparkles decided to explore the cave. As he entered deeper into the cave, he noticed a strange glow emanating from a large crystal at the end of the cave. As he got closer, he noticed that the crystal was pulsating with a strange energy that seemed to be drawing him in. Before he knew it, Sparkles was sucked into the crystal and transported to a different realm altogether. The new world was even more bizarre than the one he had left behind. He found himself surrounded by creatures that he had never seen before, including a giant purple octopus with a monocle, a talking teapot, and a group of sentient bananas. As he looked around in awe, a voice boomed from the sky, "Welcome, Sparkles, to the realm of the absurd. Here, anything is possible, and nothing makes sense." Sparkles was bewildered but excited by the prospect of exploring this new world. He decided to team up with the talking teapot, who introduced himself as Mr. Steep, and the giant purple octopus, who went by the name of Lord Squidlington. Together, they set out to explore the realm of the absurd and stumbled upon a village of miniature gnomes who were busy building a giant hot dog. "Why are you building a giant hot dog?" asked Sparkles, scratching his head in confusion. "Well, you see," replied one of the gnomes, "our village is in dire need of a new leader. And according to the ancient prophecies, the one who can eat the entire giant hot dog in one sitting shall be our new ruler." Sparkles was taken aback by the absurdity of the situation but decided to give it a go. With the help of Lord Squidlington and Mr. Steep, he managed to devour the entire giant hot dog in one sitting, much to the amazement of the gnomes. And just like that, Sparkles became the new leader of the gnome village. But his adventures in the realm of the absurd were far from over. He went on to encounter a tribe of dancing penguins, a group of flying llamas, and even a giant chicken that laid golden eggs. In the end, Sparkles realized that the realm of the absurd was a magical place where anything could happen. And although he missed his old life, he knew that he would always cherish the memories of his bizarre and wondrous adventures in the realm of the absurd. As Sparkles continued his adventures in the realm of the absurd, he encountered many more strange and fantastical creatures. One day, he stumbled upon a group of fairies who were in a panic. "What's wrong?" asked Sparkles. "Our queen has been kidnapped," cried one of the fairies. "We don't know who took her or where they went." Without hesitation, Sparkles, Lord Squidlington, and Mr. Steep volunteered to help find the queen. The fairies led them to a dark, foreboding forest where they believed the queen was being held captive. As they entered the forest, they heard eerie whispers and rustling in the bushes. Suddenly, they were surrounded by a group of mischievous imps who demanded that they leave the forest immediately. But Sparkles was not one to back down from a challenge. He and his companions stood their ground and prepared to fight the imps. However, before they could start, the ground beneath them began to shake, and a giant purple dragon emerged from the forest. "Who dares enter my domain?" growled the dragon. "We're here to save the fairy queen," replied Sparkles bravely. The dragon snorted in amusement. "You think you can defeat me? Ha! I am the great and powerful Dragon Tooth, and no one can best me in battle." But Sparkles was not intimidated. He charged at Dragon Tooth with all his might, and to his surprise, the dragon let out a yelp and cowered in fear. "What's going on?" asked Sparkles, confused. You have a weapon." A deadly weapon, stammered Dragon Tooth. Sparkles looked down and realized that he was holding a rubber chicken. He burst out laughing and dropped the chicken, much to the relief of Dragon Tooth. The dragon, impressed by Sparkle's bravery and humor, decided to join their quest to rescue the Fairy Queen. Together, they fought their way through the forest, defeating trolls, goblins, and other creatures that tried to stop them. Finally, they reached a clearing where they found the Fairy Queen held captive by a wicked sorcerer. Sparkles charged at the sorcerer with all his might, wielding his trusty rubber chicken as a weapon. With a mighty swing, he knocked the sorcerer unconscious, and the Fairy Queen was freed. The fairies cheered and thanked Sparkles and his companions for their bravery. And as a reward for their heroism, they were treated to a feast of magical food that never ran out. As they sat around the table, recounting their adventures, Sparkles realized that he had found a new home in the realm of the absurd. He knew that there would always be more adventures to be had and more friends to be made. And with that thought, he raised a glass of enchanted wine and toasted to the wild, wonderful, and wacky world of the absurd. The feast went on for hours, and Sparkles and his companions ate until they were stuffed. But even as the night wore on, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to shake, and the air grew thick with an ominous energy. "What's happening?" asked Lord Squidlington, looking around nervously. Before anyone could answer, a huge, tentacled monster burst into the clearing, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "I am the dread Cthulhu," boomed the monster. "And I have come to claim this realm as my own." Sparkles and his companions knew that they had to act fast to stop the monster from taking over the realm of the absurd. But how could they defeat a creature as powerful as Cthulhu? Just as they were about to give up hope, they remembered something. The fairies had given them a special magical artifact that was said to have the power to defeat any foe. With renewed hope, Sparkles and his companions brandished the artifact, a glowing orb that pulsed with a mysterious energy. As they held the orb aloft, they felt a surge of power flow through them, and they knew that they could defeat Cthulhu once and for all. With a mighty roar, they charged at the monster, dodging its tentacles and striking it with all their might. For hours, they battled Cthulhu, until finally, with a final, mighty blow, they destroyed the monster and sent it back to its own realm. The fairies cheered and applauded as Sparkles and his companions emerged victorious. They were hailed as heroes, and their names were sung in songs and stories throughout the realm of the absurd. As they prepared to leave the realm and return to their own world, Sparkles and his companions felt a deep sense of sadness. They had grown to love the wild, wacky, and absurd world that they had found, and they knew that they would miss it dearly. But even as they said goodbye to the realm, they knew that they would never forget the adventures they had there or the friends they had made. And with that thought, they set off back to their own world, filled with a newfound sense of wonder and appreciation for the magic of the absurd. As Sparkles and his companions returned to their own world, they couldn't help but feel a sense of disappointment. Everything seemed so ordinary and dull compared to the realm of the absurd. But just as they were about to give up hope, they stumbled upon a mysterious portal. Without thinking, they stepped through the portal and found themselves in a world unlike any they had ever seen before. The sky was purple, the trees were made of candy, and the animals wore hats and coats. "This is incredible," exclaimed Mr. Steep, marveling at the strange sights around him. And so began a new adventure for Sparkles and his companions, as they explored this strange and wondrous world, encountering new creatures and obstacles at every turn. They battled giant marshmallow monsters, navigated through forests made of licorice, and even rode on the backs of flying pigs. And through it all, they never lost their sense of humor or their sense of wonder. As they journeyed through this new realm, Sparkles and his companions realized that there was no limit to the absurdity of the world around them. They knew that there would always be new adventures to be had and new friends to be made, and they were determined to experience it all. And so, with a sense of joy and excitement, they set off into the unknown, ready to face whatever absurdity lay ahead. For they knew that as long as they had each other, and as long as they never lost their sense of humor, they could conquer anything that came their way. The end.